Have you guys heard of this recent case? This just happened Christmas morning of last year. Her name is Julie Castaneda, 34 years old. She was just recently let go of jail for shooting her husband, and he didn't make it. But I wanted to talk about this case because, you know, this is a domestic violence case that ended up really bad, and it's just really sad. So, Christmas morning, she called approximately at 2:38 in the morning. She told dispatchers that her husband had been shot. Responding deputies arrived at their home, and they found Mr. Carlos Castaneda, 38 years old, with 3 gunshots to the torso. They also found 2 semi-automatic handguns, one registered to Julie and the other one was registered to Carlos. They were found in the bedroom floor near Carlos. They found three cartridges of the Julie's gun found on the floor, and they transported Carlos to the hospital. They did find Julie performing CPR on her husband when they arrived, but she declined to answer questions about the shooting, except she only said that she and her husband were alone at the time of the shooting. She invoked her right to an attorney, and all questioning ceased. Julie was arrested based on the state of the evidence at the time and booked into the Butte County Jail. And the district attorney, stated that earlier in the evening, Julie and Carlos attended a party where multiple witnesses observed Carlos drinking alcohol and acting drunkenly, and he was just... So, witnesses did say that Julie insisted on leaving the party early to drive him home, and also their children, because their children were with them. No witnesses reported observing any physical altercations between them, but some corroborated that evidence suggested prior physical abuse within the relationship. Even though some acquaintances were not aware of it, some of them were, and they did speak up, which I'm glad they did. They didn't stay quiet. They spoke up and said, no, there's been violence between them before. So Ramsey, the attorney, he did note that the domestic violence often occurs in private, and of course, it is a cycle in that type of violence. It is very private. So they did suspect the homicide might be the result of DV and the claim of self-defense. However, without a statement from Julie, any past abuse or self-defense remained more speculation. Self-defense cannot simply be assumed. So, because she didn't want to talk. At the beginning, when they first arrested her, she didn't want to talk. I believe it took her a few days to talk. She was held on a no bail, and as she did get a lawyer. So, during the interview, Castaneda described a long history of DV. She stated that after the couple returned home with their children from the Christmas Eve party, her and Carlos argued in their bedroom about his drinking. And during the argument, she said Carlos physically attacked her and climbed on top of her on the bed, and he grabbed her cell phone from her hands and he put his hands on her throat. So she said that she kicked Carlos off, and then she grabbed her handgun that she kept on the side of her bed and she left. She ran for it. However, she said she became concerned that drunken Mr. Carlos was still at home with their children, ages 8, 14, and 18 years old. She said there were other guns at home. They were stored within a gun safe in the bedroom, including Carlos's own handgun. So there was multiple guns, I see. She said that she re-entered the home. She found Carlos standing at the now open gun safe. She said that he turned toward her, revealing that he was already holding his gun and the holster. And pulling the gun from the holster, he then advanced toward her. She said that when she saw Carlos coming at her with the gun, she feared for her life and rapidly shot him 3 times in the torso. She started CPR and called 911 immediately. Ramsey stated that Julie's statement ultimately aligned with all the physical evidence and the crime scene, giving them credibility. As a result of this, the investigators determined there was insufficient evidence to meet a prosecution burden, disproving reasonable self-defense under the law, and they found her not guilty, and they let her go already. So she's free to live her life. And it is really sad that it had to come to this. But that's why I like to talk about these cases, because it happens. It happens one too many times. And 2026, it is still happening. So let's, if we know something, report it somehow. I don't know how, right? Because sometimes we don't know how to help. Because even when I was going through it, I didn't ask for help. I did cover a lot of bruises. You just become better at protecting these people until it comes to this. So, I'm happy she's out, and I'm happy that the kids still have their mom, but unfortunately it was such a bad situation that it ended up like this. But, if you're seeing this and if you're in some type of relationship like this, I hope you get out quickly and expeditiously. These people don't fucking change.